The Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020 is called to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, will you please note the roll?
Commissioner Clymer is present. Commissioner Steiner is present. Commissioner Maloney is present. Commissioner Ellison is on the phone. Vice Chairman Barnes is present. Chairman Bray is present. Commissioner Kish is absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to excuse Commissioner Kish from this evening's meeting, please.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we excuse Commissioner Kish.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Clymer, seconded by Commissioner Maloney to excuse Commissioner Kish from this evening's meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Agenda item number 1 is approval of the draft minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting held on November 18th, 2020. Those were online, and I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes for the November 18th, 2020 Planning and Zoning meeting.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Maloney, seconded by Commissioner Clymer to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting minutes from November 18th, 2020. Is there any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Public comments. This is now the time for citizens who would like to address the Planning and Zoning Commission on any non-agenda item. Are there any speakers cards, Alyssa? Anyone from the public on any non-agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move right along. This is disclosure of ex parte communication. This is opportunity for commissioners, members to disclose any ex parte communication they may have had prior to this meeting on any items scheduled for the discussion of the agenda. Are there any disclosures?
No.
Commissioner Ellison?
No.
Thank you. All right, we will move into agenda item number 2. This is a use permit for a drive-through restaurant, Bosa Donuts, at Parkway Village. Alex Leteski will present, and I will open the public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners. My first item for you tonight is a use permit request for a drive-through located in Parkway Village, which is located at the southwest corner of Roosevelt Street and Estrella Parkway, just south of the Walmart Supercenter. There is a vacant pad within the center that is being proposed for a partial restaurant use and then a speculative retail on the east half of the building. The proposed user is currently Bosa Donuts. The building is about 3,200 square feet, and like I said, it's proposed to be split in half for the 2 different users. The drive-through comes up the north side of the building and then outlets moves down south out of the property. The use permit has been found to be compliant with all city requirements, including traffic engineering, civil engineering, and zoning and design requirements. That actually concludes my presentation. The applicant is here for any questions, and I'm available as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Are there any questions for staff at this time? Nope. Thank you. Commissioner Ellison, do you have any questions for staff?
No, thank you.
The applicant is present. Would you like to address the commission this evening?
Good evening. My name is Gary Johnson. I represent Archicon Architecture and Interiors. We're the architect for this particular project. And I'm just here to let you know that I'm here to answer any of your questions that relevant to the project itself.
Thank you. Any questions of the applicant?
Nope.
Nope.
Commissioner Ellison?
No.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming down. Are there any speakers cards?
Yes, for Dan Silviera.
Dan? 3 minutes. I think there's the timing lights there.
Can we have Elmo, please?
Hi, my name is Dan Silvera. I represent the owners of Parkway Village Shopping Center. I am here on behalf of our association to address the drive-through, the requested change to the zoning to allow a drive-through. Our concern is the flow of traffic exiting the drive-through on the new location. Where it is proposed that the drive-through exits is right at a stop sign inside the shopping center there. That is a very high traffic lane. We can foresee potential of having some backups there or perhaps maybe even some accidents. It's just a traffic concern that we have. We've had quite a bit of traffic issues with the busyness of the car wash, so we're trying to mitigate any future traffic issues that we might have, and we foresee this as having some potential there. I was just talking to Mr. Johnson here, and this is the first that we've met each other, and we would, I think, be open to possibly pursuing maybe some modifications there or looking into that. But that is the concern that our board has for our association there. And we just wanted to address that to the zoning commission so that you guys would be aware of our concerns.
I believe I understand where this is at, but catty corner from there is Saddle Mountain Brewing, right?
That is correct, right there, yeah, that's Saddle Mountain. And that roadway between Saddle Mountain, that one right there going up, that is probably one of the busiest roadways in that shopping center. And then through the parking lot right there to the south of Bosa Donuts, go up just, yeah, that one right there is extremely busy. A major thoroughfare through that shopping center, if you will. And there's just a lot of issues that we are trying to avoid. We would hate to have a drive-through go in and then say, oh geez, we should have done this, we should have done that. So that's the concerns that we have as a board.
It certainly is a high traffic area. I know that area well. I guess when we look at these applications, I mean, because it's inside of that shopping center, we don't necessarily look at traffic patterns, do we, Chris?
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Excuse me, Alex.
the traffic study does contemplate traffic within the center as well as city arterial streets.
And can you go over the thought process or what they looked at? And obviously, it doesn't seem to be that there's concern there.
I would first ask if the applicant has anything to speak to since he's more of the expert with the traffic study. I do have some general information that I can pull up. One second. Do you have anything?
Sure. Unfortunately, I don't have the privilege of having the traffic study with me this evening, but one of the things that they did take a look at was traffic flow in and out through the major arteries coming in and out of the shopping center. As to traffic flow patterns directly in front of the pad, I'm not exactly sure whether or not they actually looked at that or studied that. I do know that the nature of the business, with it being Bosa Donuts, the vast majority of their business is going to be commuter type traffic early morning, probably not later in the evenings. In speaking with gentlemen, my understanding is that there's a heavier traffic flow pattern, correct me if I'm wrong, in the late afternoon, in particular, probably early evening dinner time, that type of rush through there. So I think that with the businesses being, you know, the surrounding there being businesses that typically aren't open until 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, that I think you're gonna see that heavier traffic flow in the early morning hours. I think that the business hours, Alexander, I can't remember what I had put in the report, but I think it was, they opened at 6 a.m. Something like that. So they're open, and then they're open till 10 p.m. in the evening is their typical hours. Unfortunately, the owner's not here to speak to that specifically. But I do know that with those business hours and the vast majority of that traffic is going to be in the morning hours, and commuter traffic going through that drive-through, in and out, right in, right out, traffic from the Comfort Suites down the street, that sort of thing. So I think that there's an opportunity there to avoid some of that conflict that the gentleman's talking about. But I also think that, you know, you're going to see much more of that heavier traffic flow in the morning than you will in the afternoon or the evenings.
Thank you. Did you finish your comments, sir? I'm sorry, I kind of interrupted.
If you had any questions for me specifically, but basically that was just the comments that was given to me by our property association that we wanted to be addressed to you folks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Chris?
Mr. Chairman, thank you, sir. One of the primary things that the traffic study looks at is impacts to city roadways, of the driveways and the through thoroughfares in the center itself are looked at, yes, but primarily in order to understand what the impact and if there's a queuing problem that somebody might experience on Roosevelt in this particular situation. That's the primary focus of the traffic study. And certainly, I'm sure that the Bosa Donuts would be extremely successful at this location, which is a good thing, but also certainly can impact other properties within the center as well. One thing I would just like maybe to point out, maybe for the representative of the Property Owners Association, is the city does have a queuing requirement for the drive-through lane. Currently, it's 5 vehicles. And sir, applicant representative, how many vehicles are in the queuing lane?
I don't recall. I think it's 165 feet, so I want to say it's in the neighborhood of about 10.
Okay, so
8 to 10.
So they're providing more queuing there, but you know, I guess fundamentally the donut facility wants to have a drive-through. Just straight up, there's not going to be an opportunity for a direct connection out to Roosevelt because of where the existing driveway is.
Correct.
So any access, whatever the solution is that the applicant and the Property Owners Association, which I certainly understand and respect their concerns, come to, the traffic's still going to be internalized within the center.
Right.
So I just wanted to point that out, that another connection to Roosevelt is really not in the cards. I cannot imagine or anticipate that engineering would approve another connection there.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers' cards on this agenda item? Anyone from the public? I'm not going to, request a stipulation on this at all. But I think that maybe a very simple solution that I think solves a big portion of the problem is you see it over there at the McDonald's on Australia Parkway as you leave the drive-through, just a left turn only or no right turns, and it would basically shoot them back down and wouldn't allow. I mean, people are going to do what they want to do, but maybe that helps from just turning them onto a main roadway. But I'll leave it to you, gentlemen, to hopefully work it out. Commissioner Maloney.
My concern with this is after seeing Dutch Brothers on Indian School Road, they never thought that they would be getting that afternoon traffic. And that turned out to be a nightmare because a lot of those businesses in there, they had to put signs, you know, the guy, the pizza place there, I mean, he was furious. And the nail place, they had to put signs out and saying, this is only for if you're picking up a pizza and everything else. And it's like, why can't we need to think about these things in advance before there are lines and nobody can park anyplace? That's my only concern.
Commissioner Barnes?
Yeah, this layout doesn't really bother me. I'd be more concerned if it was flipped the other way around and you were trying to queue into that area. I mean, no matter where you put this thing in here, it's gonna dump into that aisle and then it's gonna dump out onto that main aisle, so I think it's probably the best solution, what they have here.
Any further discussion or questions for staff or applicants? Commissioner Ellison?
No.
Thank you. Alex, did you have something?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. The council meeting is scheduled for December 14th. If the commission does wish to continue a recommendation of approval, there would be discussion or further recommendation to give the applicant and the gentleman time to work things out, to move the council hearing to January.
I guess that is an option. I certainly don't want to hold up anybody from getting their projects done and would hope that there's a good faith effort between the two parties to fix it, because I don't think it's a real problem as far as being able to be solved. I think it is a problem, but I think the two parties can work it out, I would hope. But I leave that up to the commission if you wish to continue it. That's up to you guys.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, for just a second.
Yes.
So I think what Alex was saying is you all can vote tonight, but if it was reasonable and the parties agreed, we could continue the council hearing, city council consideration until the meeting in January, to give them time to work it out, because frankly, whatever the solutions are that these gentlemen come up with to alleviate concerns or address them probably need to be reviewed through the engineering department, just to ensure that we're not negatively impacting public street traffic on Roosevelt and things of that nature. So it could, based on whatever the solution is that comes out, provide a little bit more time. Now, of course, the applicant can request that. That's no problem at all. But we did wanted to offer that as an opportunity for these gentlemen to get together, to do that if they're so inclined. But certainly not looking to hold up any recommendation or vote tonight from the commission.
Thank you for that clarification, Chris. I would leave it in the applicant's hand. I would hope that you could work with, be good neighbors, figure it out. I wish the owner was here, but I imagine you can pass on that message. Right now, the time clock is the 14th, and if you can't, then I would request you guys see the staff and get an extension on that. But unless anybody has anything else or questions, discussion? No further speakers cards? No one else from the public? I will close the public hearing and take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the Bosa Donut drive-through 20-300-00006.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Clymer, seconded by Commissioner Barnes to approve the use permit for a drive-through restaurant at Bosa Donuts at Parkway Village. Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Commissioner Allison?
Nope.
Just, again, reiterate the point, please get together, come to an agreement. Maybe there isn't one, but I think that both sides, I think there's an easy solution there that can be found. Just put your heads together and figure it out. I don't think we should be holding up anything. So with that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. You got that recorded, Alyssa? Thank you. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming out, and I hope we can find that solution. Agenda item number 3 is the major plan amendment to the Wagner area. Alex will again present to us, and I will open the public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This will be very similar to last time's presentation. However, since it's being recorded, I just want to share the same information. This is a Wagner general plan amendment. It includes Wagner, property owned by Mr. Wagner and Pioneer. The property is located east of Bullard Avenue, south of Broadway Avenue in the area in the red. Just for context, it's south of Phoenix Goodyear Airport, and south of the Microsoft site, north of the Gila River, and just north a little bit on Bullard Avenue is the Little Industrial Complex, which includes the church, gun shop, and some other uses. For additional context, as we discussed last time, in 2019, the Commission heard the Lakin General Plan Amendment, which is just west of the property. That was originally proposed for single-family development, but the applicant did work with staff to determine a better use, which was suited for non-residential uses. This is the current general plan land use map. So Wagner just being to the west of the property, like I said. If you look along this corridor of SR 30, there's industrial and business and commerce uses, and then we get to the eastern boundary of the city limits, which has the residential use currently. The property in total is for about 430 acres, and the property includes all property owned by Mr. Wagner, and then this southern portion is owned by Pioneer. So on the left side is, like I mentioned, the existing general plan land use map, which the southern portion, the northern portion of Wagner and Pioneer site is already designated as industrial. The southern portion is what will be changing in the general plan amendment. So on the right is the proposed general plan land use map, which does change that to industrial use. As we had discussed previously, the 2013 general plan had this property designated as industrial, and staff is not sure why the 2025 general plan had this change to residential. Let's see here. So the proposal just changes the general plan land use and does not change the current zoning, which I'll discuss in the next slide. At this time, no rezoning requests have been requested for the property, and any change to the zoning would require a rezone request. To the west of this site, to the west of Bullard, is already existing I-2, which is general industrial property. The northwest wedge of this property, or this block, is already zoned I-2. Just north of the site is already zoned for light and general industrial, and then the current zoning of the property is agriculture. The current state of the property, you can see these red lines are transmission lines that run through Wagner's property, and then this little dashed line, you can see the future SR 30 alignment. And the SR 30 is a reliever freeway intended to reduce commuter traffic on the I-10 and runs through Phoenix's industrial and warehouse districts, which allows for significant truck traffic to utilize these routes. This is just a Google aerial showing the site, so you can see the Agua Fria River to the east of the property and the Gila River to the south. And there's currently no buildings on the Wagner property. And then within the floodplain map, the property is currently in the floodplain, and then you can see the river properties bordering the proposed site. So the major justification for the change in land use is the compatibility of the land. We previously had the first Planning and Zoning Commission, which was held off-site. This is the second commission hearing, which is required by a state statute. The upcoming public hearing is December 14th before the City Council. Yesterday, staff did receive an email in opposition to the request stating a preference to concentrate industrial north of MC 85. And I believe Alyssa will read that email to you. That does conclude my presentation for tonight. I know the applicant representative is here, and I can answer any questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. Are there any questions for Alex at this time? Commissioner Ellison?
No.
Thank you. The applicant is here. Do you wish to address the commission?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Ed Bull. My presentation is very similar to the one 6 weeks ago, and that is we appreciate staff's recommendation for approval. Industrial is the appropriate natural use on this site. I agree with Alex's presentation. I would like to add, because I told him I would, you may remember there was a speaker here, a neighboring property here 6 weeks ago, speaking in support. His property's already zoned I-2. He's the piece Alex was talking about that's at that notch out at the northwest corner of this property. He wanted to know if he had to come back or if I could just remind you he's in support, and I told him I'd try not to screw up that request of reminding you. I would add that to the best of my knowledge, neither I nor anyone in my office nor Mr. Wagner has ever heard from the gentleman who I understand, as Alec mentioned, sent in an email asking, if I understood his email correctly, that there not be any industrial allowed south of MC 85. And obviously there is existing zoned I-2 and I-1 property between the river and MC 85. But I asked my staff to see if we could locate where this person lives, and I cannot guarantee you that we found the right person, but we found the name of only one, and that person is located 5.5 miles southwest of this site, south of the Gila, west of Cotton Lane. So I'm not entirely sure what we would be doing that would be incompatible with that person's property, but I think it's worth noting that that is not a next door neighbor who sent in a somewhat vague email, which is inconsistent with long established entitlements here in the city of Goodyear. So if you need more of a presentation than that, I'm happy to get into one or answer questions. Otherwise, we appreciate staff's recommendation and ask that you do the same.
Thank you, Ed. Any questions for Mr. Bull, or does anyone wish to see his presentation?
No, sir.
Nope. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any speakers cards, Alyssa?
Yes, I received one email, and I'll read it aloud. It is from Tim Clendenning, and it states, I am a resident of Goodyear, and I oppose this plan change and would prefer industrial development to be concentrated north of MC 85 to maintain a rural and industrial buffer along with supporting concentrated farming in the current areas between Gila River and MC 85.
Thank you. No other speakers cards? Anyone from the public wish to address the commission on this issue? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve 20-700-00001A.
A second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Steiner, seconded by Commissioner Clymer, to approve the major general plan amendment for Wagner area. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Staff communication.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving in our COVID world. Celebrated as appropriate, and had some downtime and enjoyed all the festivities that go along with Thanksgiving. Certainly, we are very blessed in the city of Goodyear and have a lot to be thankful for. So, we did get some information, Mr. Chairman, from the city clerk's office. There are 3 commissioners whose terms are expiring in February of 2021, which sounds like a long time away from now, but it really isn't. Commissioner Kish, Commissioner Steiner, and Commissioner Ellison, all terms expire in February. You are all eligible for another term, and if you so incline, we'd encourage you to make an application through the city clerk's office so that can be appropriately processed and everything move forward on that front. So just for your information, those 3 do have expiring terms and are eligible should they choose to re-up, and we would certainly be happy to have them re-up. I don't think I have anything else at this particular time other than to wish everybody a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. However you choose to celebrate, please do. Katie, did you have anything to add?
Please do. Did anything go to council? Nothing went to council?
Oh, no, sir, not yet. So our special meeting on November 18th, for the Trotter Track Innovation Center rezoning, that is cascading to council on December 14th.
Okay.
What was the one that was coming up on 12th? Was that the one? Is the 12th the Monday?
7th is Monday.
Okay, so it's the 14th?
14th.
I think I'll go to that one.
Yep, 14th.
Tune in on Facebook. You can watch.
Katie, I'm sorry, did you have anything? No, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you as well for.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, I have one other thing.
Absolutely.
I totally omitted this. I think this is as you know, we have 2 new staff members, Jason Barr, who you've seen in person here before, and then also Guadalupe is in the back, if you want to raise her hand back there. So I don't think she's attended in person before. Is that correct, Guadalupe? So she's here getting the lay of the land. You'll be seeing her make presentations probably before long. And I just wanted to introduce her to the commission. We're really excited to have both her and Jason, as you heard Katie before, talk about their experiences, and we're really excited that they've joined the team. So
New planner, right?
yes, sir, that's correct.
So now how many planners are we up to? 6?
6.
Are we fully staffed?
Yes, sir. All of our positions in planning and zoning are full. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Actually, would you mind coming up to the podium and just introducing yourself and letting us know where you're from and your background and all that good stuff?
Brilliant.
Hi, my name is Guadalupe Ortiz Cortez. I believe I met you online through the Teams meeting a couple of months ago, or maybe, I don't know, I think it was maybe 5 or 6 months ago. But I graduated from Arizona State University with my master's in urban and environmental planning this May, and I have a bachelor's in regional planning from Indiana University of Pennsylvania. I moved from southeastern Pennsylvania to attend ASU 2 years ago, and I'm very happy to be here.
Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
We won't hold the school against you, but that's all right.
A tough crowd.
Thank you. Seriously, welcome and congratulations on the job. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So, anything else, Chris?
No, sir. Thank you very much.
Echo the same words to all of you and to the staff. A heck of a year, I know. I hope that maybe we're turning the corner soon, but you guys have done an amazing job working through these interesting circumstances, and so I wish you all safe and happy holidays, and however you spend it, just hopefully everybody stays healthy and we see your smiling faces soon. With that, the next Planning and Zoning Commission meeting will be held on January 13th, 2021 at 6 p.m. at the Goodyear Municipal Court and Council Chambers. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
Brian Ellison.
Is now exiting.